Hey, Toni here. I'm going to be talking about anger and how we can channel it, and also what does it really mean. And we've been told in society that we should suppress anger. It's not a good thing. And then you've got the others who say, no, you should be releasing it. Don't suppress it. So let's delve deeper into it, because I know it can be confusing, and also it can create a lot of turmoil in relationships, in yourself. You know, when you're feeling angry, it doesn't feel good, and it can linger and it can stay there, and it can actually make us sick. I suffer from anger. I'm fiery. I'm an Aries. I've learned, or I've been working on mellowing and just channeling it a lot better than I used to, because before I used to be literally a blowhead. I was definitely, and at times when I'm stressed and things aren't going my way and it's building and building and building, I feel like if I've got no control at times, then I'll just blow. And I know sometimes it's not healthy, especially around those that you love and just for yourself. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't feel good, but also acknowledge it. Don't suppress either. And I'll show you how not to suppress, but also how we can channel it in a smoother, gentler way for our health and for others. I'll accept that I do have some anger issues, and they tend to be a lot more heightened just before my periods and during my periods. And for many men, you've probably seen that with your girl. And for women, I'd also monitor your cycle, because I didn't truly know the extent of it until I started to monitor it. I downloaded a period app and I track my cycle, my full cycle, and I can expect when I'm going to be feeling a little bit low and I'm more anxious, more especially that time of the month where you're a bit more irritated, and it's definitely heightened during my menstrual cycle, at least in the first day and even a couple of days before. But nowhere near to what I used to be. I used to have crying spells, outburst, rage, frustration, irritation that I really didn't know how to process it. Now I am way better, but definitely not perfect. And this is why I want to talk more about on this channel, living a simple life, living with much more flexibility and patience. Because for me, as I'm getting older, I'm nearly 40 next month. That's crazy. I'm reassessing a lot of my life, and I think as you get into this age, 40, you start to have a lot more reflection and how you want to move. I want to step more into my feminine energy more, and not be my masculine and always this drive, this leading. I want to soften, and that's this focus is this year, is to soften much more and have just a simpler life without it being too chaotic. Now, my life does come with stress. Of course, I don't think we can totally get away from stress, especially if you want to make big changes in the world. And I'm not saying you have to have that or have stress because of that. I help street and pound dogs, and it does come with a lot of emotional turmoil, and I really are way better than I used to. And just dealing with the fluctuations of life can really, put a lot of heaviness and stress on our bodies and our nervous system. So there's a lot of tools out there, but I would say the quickest and the biggest shift for me has been, one, living as simply as I can, and that includes all areas of my life, how I move each day, what I'm eating. That's why I eat a raw living diet, very minimal in that sense, getting a good routine with going to bed early, get up early, just my whole systems of the business, how I work with the dogs. I'm simplifying, because I do feel we overcomplicate in society, and it's intentional. And things do build up. So we're never truly going to get away from stress, but we can definitely help ourselves through what we're eating, meditation, being in the now, being present, just being here has really showed me that The past and the future is all about living in the now. And let's have this calmness now as much as we can. Much more love and kindness. I'm always asking myself, is this moving through my heart? What's emerging here? What's the lesson? How can I love more? How can I be more present? And this has really shifted for me. This is how I've been able to choose foods that serve me, that are for my highest good. My behavior, my patterns, how I stopped the binge eating. But last year, definitely the last part of last year, I was really struggling with my mental health. I was really not in a good place, and I'm just coming out of that now. I think things are feeling lighter, and I know we're coming out of winter now in general, in a winter period. For most of us are going into spring. Not here in Thailand, there's just literally wet and dry season. And we're in the dry season right now. But I feel it energetically that we are coming through a lot of heavy times. And things are getting lighter. And I think if you're conscious, you are moving through a much more calmer, simple way, then you will really reap the benefits of what we're shifting into right now, especially if you're being really conscious and you're watching these types of videos, because these are what I love talking about, because I personally don't want to move how I used to move, where everything was go, constant stress. I don't know if this is because of my 40s or because we're shifting in a new space. I really feel there's a new energy coming in of much more of the feminine, much more creative, much more flow. Even for the masculine, much more trusting. Yet being the leader, going out there and providing, but also stepping into that calmness, trusting that it's all going to come and it's all going to be okay. And that's really helped really diffuse a lot of these anger outbursts. So if you're stressed, if you're feeling overwhelmed and you can catch yourself spiraling, just breathe, just take a deep breath, bring it back to the now. I do get insecure, I do get lonely, I do get irritated. I even get frustrated that there are still so many eating animals. And we don't need it for survival. And I've talked a lot about this on my channel. And it still hurts. The pain's still there, and the anger is still there. But I do know that I was not always vegan, so I do take compassion. And that's how I've been able to channel. I reflect and I see the bigger picture, that I'm not perfect either. Acknowledge your feelings. Acknowledge that there is hurt there is pain there. Because what we often do when we're drinking alcohol, when we're eating, we're smoking, doing these addictions, we're suppressing, we're numbing what we're truly feeling and what we truly need. I used to fight them and push it down with food. Food was my suppressor, my numbing, my distraction. Just know that these emotions are not the enemy. They're signals. They're here to come up, to surface, to shine light on them so that they're seen. My body is telling me something. Do I have some unmet needs? Is there some communication that I need to share with someone? Do I need some rest? Do I just need to eat well? Maybe holding on to stress. So what I found that makes it worse is eating crap food, which at the time it felt numbing, sedating, it felt really good. But it's very short lasting. Any of these addictions are short lasting and only deplete us and make things worse. When I don't eat clean, when I overstimulate my mind with mindlessly scrolling, I'm not really anymore a mindlessly scroller on social media. When I let stress build up, it will always add fuel to the fire. The anger, the sadness, the frustration, it just all gets worse. Let's choose a simpler life. If you're feeling like you resonate, simplify your life, be in the moment, be in the now, less noise, less things to trigger. I've literally come away into the jungle, in the Thailand jungle, 5 minutes from the ocean. It's so peaceful. It's so soothing. It's really nurturing and soothing my soul. I'm able to just be and be quiet. I'm not saying this is what you have to do, but take moments in your day to get into that quietness. I realize my emotions don't control me. It's only part of the ego when they want to control. The emotions are just signals. But when we react and we start overthinking, that's the ego. So what I do, I'm listening to my body, keeping my food clean, being in nature, being in the moment. So life isn't always rosy and we don't always feel great, but we can choose how we respond. That's the mastery. That's the self-love. So if you've ever felt this way, angry, emotional, overwhelmed, I want you to know you are not alone, but you don't have to stay stuck there. It's about creating a life that supports you, supports your spirit, your body, your mental health, supports you and doesn't drain you. If this resonates, comment down below. And if it feels like you got a lot of value from this, do put a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already. Share with someone that you feel will support them, help them. I'd love to know how you handle your emotions. You know, have you shifted? Have you made a lot of shifts in how you respond, how you react to situations, circumstances? Because remember, we are not the circumstance. We are just the now. Have a blessed day. Be, feel and stay Rawlicious.